Hey, I got another reaction video. Today I'm going to be reacting to the Lakers and how they've been selling recently a little bit. And LeBron's not really happy about it because he's pretty much done with it. Everyone's selling him. So I'm going to be watching a video about what they thought post-game. And, we're just going to react to that. So I'm going to just start it.
Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. I'm Chris McGee, James Worthy, Robert Ory. Allie Clifton's going to join us in a little bit. For the next hour, we're going to get through this together. The Lakers lose again. They are now 2-8 since the All-Star break, 5-15 in their last 20 games. 5-15 in their last 20. Fellas, for the first time this year, 10 games under 500. Big game, James. Tough stretch.
The Lakers are horrible right now.
We could run the tapes from previous shows, and we're going to be saying the same thing pretty much. A back-to-back game, Rob pointed out, they're already a little bit behind the eight ball. Toronto coming in here, having beaten some really good teams, including Phoenix and Denver. And they just, once again, a tough first quarter. You get down the way they did. I'm not sure what it was, but they were down, I don't know, 26-6 or something like that at one point. And from that point, you're playing catch-up. And it takes a lot of energy to, put a dent in the lead. And they don't have enough personnel to keep fighting out of those ditches that they get themselves in. And they couldn't shoot the ball from the field or the three. And not moving the ball enough. They ended up with, enough 20 assists, but I think they only had like 7 or 8 or 9 or something. So same old story. Just don't have enough personnel, and they dig too big a ditches that they can't get out of.
For me, you look at this game, it's okay. We always talk about offense, but defensively, they didn't play good defense. They gave up 36 free throws. They didn't rebound well. It's a lot of little things like that. That's all energy and effort.
Yeah, I could see that during the game.
That's her claim to fame.
During the game, you could tell they were pretty bad on defense. They were struggling back there.
You can't play defense. You foul, and James, we talk about it all the time.
And yeah, they were fouling a lot.
I think if they go out
all the free throws racking up.
Take it upon yourself to stop this guy tonight. Stop switching, because it's putting them in a hole, because a lot of these guys are too fast or too small to guard these guys, and they're taking advantage of these mismatches. So they have to come together defensively, I think, to try to get out of this hole. And it's not always about offense. You got to play some defense sometimes to win basketball games.
Switching softens up your defense. If I know I'm going towards Robin, I know I'm going to switch.
I feel bad for LeBron, to be honest.
I'm not going to work as hard. So there are certain players that you have to switch on, but I think the NBA period has turned into a lot of switching, and teams that do it well, they're locked in. But it makes you soften up a little bit if you know you don't have to fight over a pick and it's going to switch. But I don't know what the Lakers' problem is. They just don't have the personnel to defend when they go small. Even a guy like Siakam was able to, play big and take advantage of them down low, take them in the paint. They're not used to it. They're not used to defending without AD or Dwight back there. So it's going to be hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, you guys bring up the personnel. I mean, we get asked all the time, whether it's
out,
social media or people we talk to, what happened
too.
to this Laker defense. I mean, they were the #1 defense for the last 2 years. Well, this is a different team.
Totally different team.
That's the bottom line. So your schemes and what you want to do, it's not working.
Well,
and that's just the truth, right? I mean,
Pope and Caruso could switch because they were playing good defense.
I heard AD's coming back soon, though,
when
so that's
a lot of that meat of the defense is no longer here.
Yeah.
So when you bring in new personnel, and that's the first thing you got to start working on. And, they didn't really do a great job of prepping in preseason. They were kind of waiting for things to get started, and they had all these new players, and then the injuries came, and before you know it, they were way behind the eight ball, no practice time. And so this is where they find themselves, here in March.
I want to show you guys this. For the last 2 games, okay, back-to-back nights, here's what happened in the first quarter. And I think that's the most deflating thing, because no matter how you play the rest of the game, it's catch-up the whole way, and you almost have to play a perfect, flawless game. Look at this with Phoenix and Toronto. Back-to-back nights, they gave up 81 points combined in the first quarter. They were outscored 81-34, Rob, in the first quarter. That's a minus 47 if you're keeping track at home. Lakers 1 for 25 from 3 in the last 2 games in the first quarter combined, minus 30 in that department. They shot just 12% in the first quarter this game. So, Rob, that's given up a lot of points and really, like I said, just impossible to play that perfect game to be able to come back. I mean, the Lakers got it to 9. They had a couple shots to get it to 6, but, man, you're playing uphill the whole time.
Yeah, you're playing uphill. And I also wish what was in that stat is the number of times they go to the free throw free throw line, because if you think about that, that was what, 23 threes they took in the first quarter? In the first game? That's a lot of threes.
25.
No, 25. So a lot of threes for a team. You got to be aggressive sometimes. When you know your shots
they made like
fall,
1 out of all
every
of them.
great player that's played this game who can shoot threes. Even Steph Curry, when he's not knocking on his threes, which is rare, he goes to the rack, try to get layups to try to get himself going. I don't see that many Laker players when that 3-gamer is not knocking. They're like, you know what? They're bullhead. It's, you know what? I'm gonna keep shooting until I knock one down. Let yourself see one go through the hoop. And we don't have that mentality. We don't try to go to the hole and get free throws. We stay strong-minded and say, oh, we're gonna knock down threes. And you can't do that. You gotta get buckets. I don't care what nobody said. This game of basketball is about getting buckets. You get buckets no matter if it's a 1, a 2, or a 3, you get it.
Yeah, man.
First quarter, James, getting punched like that. What does that do for a team's, I don't know, mentality, for their just overall vibe?
My question is, what are your pregame preparations that you come out in the first quarter and get knocked around like that? You know, what's your mindset? You see what Toronto has been doing. They beat the Phoenix Suns. They beat Denver. You know they can play. They got a really nice lineup that's
they beat
versatile.
the Suns?
So what's your mindset before the game to come out and get down like that? You're not ready to play.
Against
that's what I see.
I mean, I know the
You're
Raptors are
not
good, though,
ready to start a game. It takes getting down 15, 20 points. Oh, now all of a sudden you're ready to play. Can't do that. You got to be ready to play from jump. And you at home, you can't have deficits like that. That gives teams as soon as Toronto got that big lead, it was over. They knew they had you because the Lakers, in addition to that, they have a reputation now of not playing defense, of letting you back in the game. So all that comes into play. I know it was a back-to-back game, but you got to be ready to play at the beginning of the first quarter.
Listen, the Eastern Conference is tough. I don't know what kind of splash they can make, but this young Raptors team has put themselves in position to compete a little bit, especially in that first round. They're 4-1 on this road trip. I looked at them tonight. Siakam, Trent Jr., rookie Scott Barnes, they're all over 20. Starters all in double figures. They come at you with that lineup where everyone's about 6'8". So they can play you physical, they can play you small, but they're bigger than you. They do a nice job.
And I think they exploit the weaknesses, and that's what you think about it. They went, for the first quarter, they went to their rookie, Scotty Barnes, who had, I think, 17 points or 14 points or something like that in the first quarter.
15 in the first quarter.
Yeah, he was going at those guys, and, he's like, I'm a rookie. I'm on the first time in L.A. I'm going to show these people what I can do. He came out and he played. And there was all points in the paint. And sometimes we talked about before the game how teams have been trying to exploit the Lakers with their bigs, and you have to be able to. I remember when LeBron was down in the block, scoring on the block, the Lakers looked so good because he was able to collapse the defense and kick it out. But now everything is driving, kick, driving.
All right. Well, that's the end of the video. And what I had to say about that was, I mean, like I said, I felt bad for LeBron, man. I feel like he probably thinks he's the only one on his team doing something. He doesn't really have anyone to rely on. All of his teammates are breaking shots, and they're not looking good right now at all. Like the reporters were saying, their defense is horrible right now. And hopefully once they get AD back, a couple players back, they might be looking a little better, change up the game plan, but I don't know if there's much they can do, to be honest. Like, yeah, LeBron's going to retire soon. I don't know what's going to happen to the Lakers once that happens, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But that's it for this video. And yeah, just let me know if you had anything to add or if I miss something, and that's about it. So yeah.